Hello and welcome to Millennium Sports World. Today we will take you on a tour from local sports to international sports including MMA, golf, hockey, tennis, NFL, NHL, international soccer and more. So let's explore the sports world. Former UFC middleweight champion Anderson Silva was frustrated with himself after a loss to Jake Paul on Saturday night. He resolved to continue his evolution, not to hang up his gloves. "I can't stop," Silva said emphatically after his unanimous decision loss to Paul in the main event of Saturday's Showtime pay-per-view. The sequence of events that led to Silva hitting the canvas in the 8th round and unanimous 77-74, 78-73 and 78-73 scorecards against him were tough for the Spider to swallow. He remembered its similarity his last UFC fight, a TKO loss to Uriah Hall, who won his boxing debut earlier on the card. Silva then hit the canvas twice, but he said he wasn't knocked out. "I failed in the strategy and the last round. Jake made the good punch, and my base wasn't correct," Silva told reporters at the post-fight press conference. "And that's when I took the punch, but I didn't feel knocked out. I don't feel power, but I wasn't in good balance, and that's when I took the punch." At 47, Silva at times looked supernatural against Paul, his junior by 22 years. According to CompuBox stats, he matched or outlanded Paul in power punches in 4 of 8 rounds and total punches in 5 of 8 rounds. The positive trends began to reverse, however, in the 2 final frames, and the knockdown created an indelible impression on the momentum of the fight. Seamus Power knows the wind, and Port Royal well enough to realize he would better do his scoring early. He did just that Saturday, added a few birdies late and had another 6 under 65 to share the lead with Ben Griffin in the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. Power holed a 30-foot birdie put on the daunting par 3 16th and made a 12-foot birdie on the par 5 17th to atone for his lone mistake, a double bogey on the par 3 13th. Griffin followed the same script in a strong wind with 3 birdies to open his round. He kept his approach under the wind on the 18th to 5 feet for birdie and 66. They were at 18 under 195, 2 shots clear of Kevin Yu and Aaron Baddeley. Power is the highest ranked player at Port Royal. The 35-year-old Irishman is no stranger to windy conditions and has played the Bermuda Championship the last few years. Harrison Crowe of Australia won the Asia Pacific Amateur on Sunday with a shot that summed up his wild final round, an up and down from behind the 18th green that gave him a one-shot victory and a spot in next year's Masters and British Open. Crowe closed with an even par 72 at Amata Spring Country Club to hold off Bo Jin of China, who was poised to win until he missed the island green on the par 3 17th and made double bogey. That gave the 21-year-old Aussie a one-shot lead going to the 18th. His approach on the 477-yard closing hole was headed left, but he hit it well enough that it narrowly cleared the water. Crowe played a super pitch just onto the green, and it rolled out to a few feet that set up the winning par. "It means so much," Crowe said. "I came out here this week with something to prove, and I'm just really proud of myself the way I handled myself on and off the course." Jin just went over the back of the 18th green and made par for a 71. The Oklahoma State junior has finished in the top 10 each of the last 3 years in the Asia Pacific Amateur, which his brother Cheng Jin won in 2015. Lewis Hamilton has just 3 races remaining to avoid the first winless season of his illustrious Formula One career, a mark that might force other drivers to question if it's time to get out of the car. Not the 7-time champion. He has struggled all year in an underperforming new Mercedes, and there was some speculation that he would retire after his controversial loss of a record 8th F1 title last December to Max Verstappen. Even so, the 37-year-old wants more. Hamilton said ahead of the Mexico City Grand Prix that he has started talks with Mercedes on a new multi-year contract. His current contract expires at the end of 2023. Hamilton, who holds the F1 record for victories with 103 since his 2007 debut season, dominated last year's season finale at Abu Dhabi in a head-to-head matchup with Verstappen for the title. A late caution sent in motion a series of events in which the since-fired race director broke from protocol in his rulings, which ultimately allowed Verstappen to pass Hamilton for both the race win and the title. Vasily Lomachenko returned to boxing after joining Ukrainian war effort. He took a unanimous decision win after a thrilling contest with Jermaine Ortiz in New York. Lomachenko will now target a showdown with undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney next. Vasily Lomachenko took a unanimous decision win over Jermaine Ortiz at the Madison Square Garden Theater in New York. The world former champion from Ukraine won by scorecards of 115 by 113, 116 by 112 and 117 by 111 for the three judges. But those tallies did not tell the story of what was a close, thrilling fight. Lomachenko was coming back to the sport after walking away from a major title unification earlier this year, when he returned to his homeland once Russia invaded Ukraine to enlist in the Territorial Defense Force. Ortiz was his first fight back after coming out of Ukraine and returning to training. The World Series takes a day off Sunday as the Phillies and Astros travel to Philadelphia, with Game 3 on tap for Monday night. The series is tied at a win apiece after Houston's Framber Valdez curved up Philly with his curveball in Game 2, preserving an early 5-run lead in a 5-2 victory. Josh Altuve, Jeremy Pena and Yordan Alvarez all doubled as Houston took a 2-run advantage 4 pitches in against Jack Wheeler. A throwing error by shortstop Edmundo Sosa allowed another run in the first, and Alex Bregman added a 2-run homer in the 5th. Still, the wildcard Phillies returned to Citizens Bank Park, having stolen home field advantage. They will start right-hander Noah Syndergaard in Game 3 against Houston righty Lance McCullers Jr. It won't quite be a day off for fans in Philadelphia. The 6-0 Eagles are set to host the Pittsburgh Steelers, keeping the city at the center of the sports world. Now the NHL sports update. The Toronto Maple Leafs aim to stop their 3-game skid with a win over the Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim had a 31-37-14 record overall and a 17-19-5 record at home last season. The Ducks scored 228 total goals last season. Toronto had a 54-21-7 record overall and a 24-14-6 record in road games last season. The Maple Leafs scored 63 power play goals last season on 231 chances for a 27.3% success rate. The Minnesota Wild take on the Chicago Blackhawks for a matchup within the Central Division Sunday. Chicago went 5-15-6 in Central Division games and had a 28-42-12 record overall last season. The Blackhawks scored 213 goals while giving up 289 for a 76-goal differential last season. Minnesota had a 53-22-7 record overall and went 15-14-3 in Central Division games last season. The Wild scored 305 total goals last season, 3.7 per game on 32.5 shots per game. The New York Rangers visit the Arizona Coyotes after Vincent Trocheck's 2-goal game against the Dallas Stars in the Rangers' 6-3 win. Arizona went 25-57 overall and 11-27-3 at home last season. The Coyotes scored 206 total goals last season, with 28 power play goals and 2 short-handed goals. New York went 52-24-6 overall and 27-21-3 on the road a season ago. The Rangers scored 3.0 goals per game last season while allowing 2.5 per game. Kevin Huerter scored 27 points, hitting 7 three-pointers to help the Sacramento Kings win for the first time this season with a 119-113 victory over the Miami Heat on Saturday. It's the first victory for Kings coach Mike Brown, who was hired this past off-season. The Los Angeles Lakers are the last winless team in the NBA. It was about trying to get a win, Brown said. Doesn't matter when it comes. Hopefully, we can have some carryover going on this road trip. Kings rookie Keegan Murray scored a career-best 22 points. I think we played well, Murray said. We expect to win games, with the Kings up 4 points. Huerter was fouled with 14.2 seconds left. He made both free throws to extend Sacramento's lead to 6 and seal the win. De'Aaron Fox had scored 27 points or more during the Kings' first 4 games of the season. He finished with 17 points and added 13 rebounds, a career high. Harrison Barnes scored 11 points. All 5 Sacramento starters scored in double figures. Astros catcher Martin Maldonado was forced to switch bats for Game 2 of the World Series on Saturday night after it was determined the Albert Pujols model he swung in the opener was no longer allowed in the majors. A rule is a rule and I have to follow the rule, he said. That's why I didn't use it today. Maldonado was 0 for 3 in a 5-2 win over the Phillies that evened the series at 1 game apiece. In the opener, Maldonado went 1 for 3 with an RBI single in a 6-5 loss in 10 innings. The bat he used in Game 1, a Maruki AP5, was a Pujols model. In 2010, Major League Baseball changed bat specifications for safety purposes, trimming the diameter of the barrel from the long-standing 2.75 inches to 2.61 inches. The move to slightly slimmed down bats was designed to reduce the risk of them breaking into multiple pieces. As part of the move, players already in the majors and using bigger bats could continue to swing them. Maldonado made his big league debut in 2011 and therefore couldn't use any of the bats that had been grandfathered in. MLB didn't find Maldonado had any competitive advantage using the Pujols model, and it appeared the mix-up was an honest mistake. Maldonado batted .186 this season and is a career .209 hitter in 12 seasons. Pujols finished his 22-year career this season with 703 home runs, 4th on the all-time list. Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe and Neymar all scored as defending champions Paris Saint-Germain twice came from behind to beat Troyes in League One. Messi and Neymar each scored and assisted 1 goal as Carlos Soler bagged 1 and Mbappe netted a penalty at the Parc des Princes. The star trio have scored 43 goals between them already this season. The victory restored PSG's 5-point advantage over second-placed Lens at the top of League One. Troyes opened the scoring in the 3rd minute as Mama Baldé lashed home a volley before Neymar's clipped pass found Soler to level proceedings. Baldé got a second for Troyes, who are 11th in the French top flight, with a low strike to regain their lead against the run of play. But in the space of 7 minutes, 7-time Ballon d'Or winner Messi hammered home his 12th goal of the campaign from 25 yards out and traded a pinpoint pass throw to Neymar, who fired past Troyes keeper Gauthier Gallon to make it 3-2. Mbappe drilled home a penalty to extend PSG's lead before Ante Palaversa pulled one back for the visitors late on. All 4 goal scorers also scored in PSG's 7-2 victory over Maccabi Haifa as the team reached the Champions League last 16 on Tuesday. Captain Sarah Hunter became the most capped female player in Test history Sunday winning her 138th cap in England's 41-5 quarter-final win over Australia at the Women's Rugby World Cup. To celebrate, Hunter scored the opening try of a rain-drenched match in which England's forward power and precision in marginal conditions was critical. Marley Packer's hat-trick also helped England to extend its record Test winning streak to 29 games. Hunter's try in the 8th minute was a pushover, coming when it forced the Australia scrum back over its try line from 5 meters, and Hunter pounced at the back of the England scrum. Top-ranked England has faced some criticism at the World Cup that the low numbers, the tight forwards have done the overwhelming majority of its scoring. The England coach and players often have had to defend themselves against claims they are one-dimensional. The FIFA World Cup may be bringing as many as 1.2 million fans to Qatar, but the nearby flashy Emirate of Dubai is also looking to cash in on the major sports tournament taking place just a short flight away. Some soccer fan clubs have already said they will be commuting to Qatar during the Cup on 45-minute flights from Dubai, the skyscraper-studded beachfront city-state in the United Arab Emirates. Other fans plan to sleep on cruise ships or camp out in the desert amid a feverish rush for rooms in Doha. Dubai's airlines, bars, restaurants, shopping malls, and other attractions now hope to benefit, further boosting the rebounding tourism industry in the crucial fall and winter months after the blows delivered by the coronavirus pandemic. If you can't stay in Qatar, Dubai is the place you would most like to go as a foreign tourist, said James Swanston, a Middle East and North Africa expert at Capital Economics. It's somewhere safe, somewhere more liberal in terms of Western norms. It's the most attractive destination. In the lead up to the tournament, concerns about hotel room space and high prices for the rooms available have trailed Qatar, which lacks hotel capacity for all teams, workers, volunteers, and fans at the World Cup. So Doha has created camping and cabin sites, hiring cruise ships, and encouraging fans to stay in the neighboring countries and fly in for games. Qatar has estimated it will have 45,000 hotel rooms for the tournament. A new team competition with 15 million in prize money will open the 2023 tennis season ahead of the Australian Open. Tennis Australia announced the formation of the United Cup on Friday, saying it will involve women and men from 18 countries competing from December 29 to January 8. Matches will be played in groups at Brisbane, Perth, and Sydney. Each squad will include up to 4 women and up to 4 men at the event, which will have 500 WTA and 500 ATP rankings points available. Each contest will include 4 matches in singles, 2 between women and 2 between men, and 1 in mixed doubles. The winners of each group will advance to a final 4 playoff in Sydney from January 6 to January 8. The next best performing team from the group stages will complete the 4 teams in the finals. The season's first Grand Slam tournament, the Australian Open, begins at Melbourne Park on January 16. Australia is guaranteed a spot in the field. Other nations will qualify based on WTA and ATP rankings. That's all in today's sports world. Keep watching Millennium Sports World for latest sports updates. Millennium TV USA and Millennium News 24 network is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all types of informative and entertainment programs. Thank you.